Hey guys, what is going on? Alex here, and I'm back for a video for you guys, and you guys only. So where have I been? Recently I've just been working 24/7. I've barely had the time to make any videos, and I just keep coming back late. Absolutely exhausted to the extent where I just fall on my bed and fall asleep. I don't really play many games as much as I used to. It's that bad. But I'm trying to come up with a few videos for you. I do have, well, I just got myself a new phone that's a lot better, and because I don't have a proper camera to record videos with, I'm trying to see if I can fix up a few deck profiles for you guys as soon as possible. Hopefully should be maybe in the next few weeks. There should be a couple on my channel. But yeah, anyway, this is my ban list prediction for the August 2018 ban list. We're more than likely going to get this later August or maybe early September, but I just wanted to get it out of the way now because Worlds is around the corner. We now know what the Worlds ban list is going to be. Personally, I think the most represented deck that's going to happen in the Worlds will be GoKey. Considering Hornet Drones in the OCG is at 1, we don't have Summon Sorceress, or, well, UK and Europe don't have Summon Sorceress, and of course we don't have Needle Fiber, so we don't actually have access to purely all the broken cards that of course the OCG have. But anyway, this is going to be about the TCG, not the OCG. So here is my ban list prediction for the August 2018 ban list. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, so let's go straight into it. First archetype I want to talk about is GoKey. Now I'm going to be honest with you guys in my opinion towards this. GoKey is a bad archetype. The archetype isn't really that good. The only reason why the deck is good is because it's abusing things that the other decks would be using properly. Now when I say that, it means that they are surviving off of other cards, and those other cards are insanely broken, while the cards that they use are shit. Now, when you play GoKey on their own, they're just not good. Like, really, I saw it as just like a casual player deck, or someone who, you know, likes watching the anime. I mean, I know good few people who like playing the deck, but that's only because it was a cheap, affordable deck. You can pretty much just pick it up because it's all seen as jank. But yeah, let's go over to the cards that I think will be hit. So, first card, obviously, is Firewall Dragon. I really think this card needs to go to 0. It's a very unfair card. And it just keeps allowing plays to go on and on and on and on and on. And this is what is really bad, how badly made it is the fact that you keep special summoning from your hand over and over again causes so many loops. And we're not just talking in GoKey. GoKey are basically extra link when Firewall Dragon's on the field, but when Firewall Dragon when they don't have Firewall Dragon, they can still make plays. Like, Firewall Dragon is just going to give them more loops, more chances to FTK, like we've seen stuff with Cannon Soldier, and I can't remember, I think it's Amazoness Archer, we've seen, but Firewall Dragon is really the main enabler for all these cards, and once this card is on the field, it's pretty much GG, because you know what your opponent's going to do. You know they're going to loop, and again, as I said, once this card's on the field, it means that there is obviously more cards that they are using to get the cards on the field. First card I do want to mention firstly, I'm not going to be saying this card needs to be hit, but people are saying Isolde should be going to 1. Now, I'm going to say this to you guys. If you think Isolde needs to be put to 1 or banned, you got to think outside the box first. And when I say that, I'm not trying to criticize you saying you're stupid, but think outside the box. What card is every warrior-based deck using to get Isolde out as soon as possible? Well, it's kind of obvious, isn't it? MX Saber Invoker. I personally think this card should be banned. It is basically a free special summon from the deck, and allows to go into a free Isolde, free Mrs. Radiant, free pretty much generic Link 2 card, all for just a level 3, for a rank 3 XYZ. And people are desperate for this card to come out when they play GoKey. They'll play stuff like Speedroid Terratop, Instant Fusion for that that level 3 fusion monster. I can't remember what name it is. If you know, just put it in the comments or whatever. But people are dying for this card to come out so they can kick off their plays. The moment Isolde is on the field, they'll send Phoenix Blade, and that's the play starting from there. It's pretty straightforward. But MX Saber Invoker to 0 stops that play. It stops Isolde coming out super easy, and actually slows down the plays a bit more to where it actually should be. I think an easy card to get out just is too stupid. Like, it just kicks off plays too quickly. So I think Invoker should be banned. Next card I want to talk about is Nightmare Goblin. Again, this is a card that is similar to what I said with Invoker. It allows, but complete opposite. Invoker starts the play, Nightmare Goblin allows the plays to carry on because it's a free normal summon. This card is basically Seraphonite, but a linked version of it, except the only cost you have to do is a discard after summoning, and you get a free summon on top of it. That is pretty much it. And for an additional normal summon, that's pretty broken. I personally think that Goblin shouldn't be banned, but maybe limited, because every single Nightmare GoKey deck I see played, they always play the 2 Goblins rather than the 1, and they both use both Goblins in one turn. So this makes you actually think more outside the box, thinking, okay, Goblin is, I've only got 1 Goblin, how am I going to use it? So that way it actually just slows down the plays. I think Goblin to 1, it sounds fair, but that's just my opinion. So, Skystrikers are next on the list. Now, I haven't mixed up Trickstars and Skystrikers. I'll go to Trickstars afterwards. But I put Skystrikers here on their own because they're a very awkward deck to talk about because of how well they are to be when they're mixed in. Don't forget, we don't have Summon Sorceress and we don't have Needle Fiber, so we don't have that dirty combo that the OCG have. But we still have broken cards. The first card, of course, I want to talk about is Trickstar Mecha Hornet Drones. This card is Trickstar Skystrike Mecha Hornet Drones. I just realised it. This card really is the problem card for the deck. The card is a bit too strong, and spawning free tokens, in my opinion, just shouldn't be allowed. I mean, link summoning for me was poorly created. It wasn't, personally, I think tokens should never have been allowed to be used as a link material, but according to the to Konami, that's an okay thing to do. But Skystrike and Mecha Hornet Drones, I think, really should be going to 1. Basically, what this does it stops the deck mixing in with other decks. This is why, you know, you see decks such as Trickstar, Skystriker, and you know, I've even seen people put Hornet Drones in stuff like Spiral, Heroes, all that sort of stuff, just so Skystrikers can be used in the other decks. Now, don't get me wrong, Skystrikers are pretty broken with stuff like Widow Anchor and Hornet Drones. It's very strong, but drone spawning a free token to allow players to start off is a bit stupid. It's basically a free link to, again, activate Hornet Drone, summon Kagari, add Hornet Drones back, activate Hornet Drones, summon out the token, go into Hayate, will be pointing down and go into Shizuku. You see where I'm coming from, and then there you go, you can get a free link to card from there. It's just too good a card at 1, at 2, at 3, so I think 1 is fair. Skystrike and Mobilize Engage. Now, I put this on here only because I don't think it should be banned. I don't think it should be limited or hit. If Konami want to hit it, I think putting it to 2 would be okay, supposedly, but I don't think the card should be hit. With drones going to 1, the deck slows down. It doesn't really mix in with other decks, so I think on its own will be okay. Again, we don't have Needle Fiber, and we don't have Summon Sorceress, so we haven't actually seen the capability that that Skystrikers can have with those 2 cards in the TCG. We know it's very effective in the OCG, but again, it's a bit of difference. So yeah, I think Mobilize Engage should be just left alone for the time being. Maybe in the future if they're still too strong after they get hit, but for the time being, I think it's okay. Trickstars is the next archetype as I want to talk about, and Trickstars are a very interesting archetype, very weirdly made, and yeah, very powerful. First card, of course, I want to talk about, you guys know it, is Trickstar Reincarnation. Trickstar Reincarnation, in my opinion, I would love to see go to 0. It's a card that I really can't stand, and I think it's so badly designed, considering that you have to banish your opponent has to banish their hand. That's just ridiculous. I mean, unless they're playing Shiranui or something, or, you know, they don't want their hand banned. They don't want that. I mean, I don't want that. I don't think anyone does. But Trickstar Reincarnation, I think to 1 would be okay. Personally, if it went to 0, I'd be even happier because it is technically generic, but I don't think 3, this card is fair at all. Even in pure Trickstar, the card is too strong. I think to 1, it sounds like a good idea. That way you can just you know, only play one of it and use it effectively rather than just use it whenever the hell you want. Search Trickstar Reincarnation, put it face down while having a Trickstar Reincarnation face down. Activate Trickstar Reincarnation, blah 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 blah. You see where I'm coming from. Withdrawal and Lockbird, which we'll go into a bit further on, it gets even worse. So yeah, that's it for Trickstar Reincarnation. I think it should just go to 1. Trickstar, Candina, and Lightstage have something in common, and that in common is, of course, they are both search cards, and of course, well, both give inflict burn damage. But Candina is again just a Trickstar add from deck to hand. Same with Trickstar Lightstage, but I don't agree with Lightstage more than I do Candina. I think Candina is okay at 3. I think Trickstar Lightstage should be at 1. And the reason why I think Trickstar Lightstage should be at 1 is because not only is it a search card, but it's a damage amplifier. It's like Candina burns you for 200. Well then, Lightstage is going to add it on another 200, which is now going to make that 400 points of damage, which is ridiculous. And I think if it's going to be a search card while amplifying damage, I think that's a bit unfair. So I think Trickstar Lightstage should just be limited, and Candina may be left alone. Or if they want to do one or the other, it's totally fine with me. But in my opinion, Lightstage should be limited. Over to some other cards. Firstly, I want to talk about Electromite. Now, I would love to have just put Pendulums on here altogether, but really, with Joker Band and Astrograph and Double Iris Band, there really isn't much to mention about Metalfoes. Now we're really seeing Metalfoes Pendulum. Now we're just seeing a lot of different variants of pendulums being used, and I really think, my opinion, that if they want to stop these variants and just be a bit safe, maybe limit Electromite. That way, you know, the deck's not slower, but you know, you've got to use your Electromite wisely, not just waste it, which loads of people would be doing. So I think Heavy Metalfoes Electromite going to 1 would be just fine. I don't think I think at 3 is a little too strong, and besides, if you hit all the other decks, then Pendulum are going to shine out a little bit. So I think maybe Metalfoes Electromite to 1 is a fair option to do. So other cards. First card is Scapegoat. Spawning 3 tokens, as I said before, is a bit ridiculous, especially 4. 4 tokens is just ridiculous, and you know, usually what people do, they'll activate it during the end of their opponent's turn, start off with 4 tokens in their field, and then probably just go into Aryuja and then make some stupid plays from there. I think just having a free spawn of tokens that's also a quick spell is a bit too stupid, and I think this card should potentially be limited or even banned. Actually, I think limited is fine, but depending on what Konami do, yeah, whatever. But I think the card should really be hit. Draw and Lockbird is the next card, and again it's to do with the Trickstar Reincarnation Lightstage Reincarnation combo, but really this card disallows you to play Yu-Gi-Oh! I use this card, but it kind of feels like it's the best hand trap. It's like outshining Ash Blossom right now. Draw and Lockbird, I think, should really go to 1, semi-limit or even banned. I think if it went to 1, no one will play the card because it will be too sacky. If it's at 2, people will still play it, but they'll use it more on the side deck. And if they ban it, well, of course, people can't use it. But yeah, that's it for Draw and Lockbird. I think the card needs to be looked at and kept some information on, because I do think it's a bit too strong. Eldrad Construct, I don't need to say anything really. I don't want to say much about this card. This card has been banned for a long time. People want the card unbanned, and of course, you know, you make Shadow Construct, which is the Link monster, but you don't have El Shadow Construct on unbanned. I mean, sure, there's a Mighty, but you know, I don't really care about that. El Shadow Construct is the most important one. I really want to see this card back at least at 1. Stratos. Every deck has literally got their Stratos now. You know, I think like Ancient Gears have got them. Of course, Trickstars have it with Candina. I don't really need to say much. Stratos, limit, yeah. And then, good old-fashioned Max C. I think this card needs to come back to 3 as soon as possible, because people did not see the amount of damage that no Max C has caused. Like, I was always playing 2 Max C even when the card was at 3. But Maxi 1 is just shit because it's going to be too sacky. 2, but 3 I think is good. This card has been very controversial, but I think with the amount of special summoning that's been going on and flooding the field and extra link, there needs to be sort of a way to stop that. And I think because of Call by the Grave, it's okay for Maxi to come back to 3. But that's my opinion. Anyway, that's it for this video. If you enjoy it, make sure to hit that thumbs up and leave a comment below, and I will speak to you guys later. Peace.